All right, so the Marlins are losing right now. Unfortunately, there's no way around it. But so really, it just comes down to if the players want to win. I know they always want to, but they got to be motivated as well by Mattingly. And another thing I did post on my Marlins Instagram was, would you like to see Joe Girardi as potentially our manager if Don Mattingly, if the Marlins move on from Donnie Baseball? Let's see. I was thinking about that long and hard. Mattingly, of course, it's not really his fault, but again, could we potentially move on from him? And to be honest with you, it may happen. And Joe Girardi lives down here too. His son's training down here as well, so we could potentially see that happen to him. Mattingly getting his job. So, in my opinion, I do think that the Marlins can potentially move on from Donnie Baseball. Don't want to necessarily say I would like that to happen, but I think that it would be, at this point in time, I think it would be best that we do move on from him. I do understand that most likely all of it is not his fault, but as of right now, I do think that the Marlins should move on from him a little sooner rather than later. I think it would just be better for us moving forward from him. And not a lot of people would really say that, but I think Mattingly, he's been doing. I don't want to say he's been doing a terrible job with us. He works hard. He's a good manager, but our team right now is not going to give him a winning record. And I think he needs to understand that, because he goes out and he expects to win. Everybody should be expecting to win. That's the point of the That's the point of the game. You go out there trying to win, but I just don't think that he has a different mindset, and I know he's been with the rebuilding club for a little bit. I think it is time to move on. Joe Girardi could potentially be a very interesting piece if we ended up getting him, so keep your eye on that. We could potentially be getting him as our new manager of the ball club, so we could potentially have him as our new guy. Okay. Yeah. So, that's some things right there for the Marlins as well. And another player I do want to talk about that is hurt a little more is Drew Steckenrider. Why haven't we seen the old Drew Steckenrider that we've seen previously? He has not been good, I know. And then when he got hurt, that was even worse. Our bullpen really, there's a lot of players. Conley has been struggling too, and it's been really shocking to see that, unfortunately, for him. But hopefully he can come back stronger and he'll be ready to go. So I look forward to him coming back soon, and hopefully he can get that ERA back up, because definitely it is down in the tube, so hopefully he can get that ERA back up. So I do have a couple questions. Actually, I did not put them on my story, but I did have a few people DM me via Instagram asking for questions here to have on the podcast here. I will be putting questions up. Actually, I can put questions up right now, guys, on my Instagram story. You can ask me them right then and there. So I'm going to put questions up right now for the podcast right now. So if you are listening in right now, you can ask me a question right now. So I am going to add it right now to my Instagram story at Marlins_news. I'm sure most of you guys are from there. So I just added it to my Instagram story. So yeah, you can go over there and check that out, and then you can ask me a question right here in the podcast. But I do have a couple questions here from a couple of people who did ask to be shared and mentioned on the podcast here. So we are going to do that right now. Okay. So the first question here of the day is from Apollos.wave, and he asked me, do you think the Marlins could be contenders before 2022? Absolutely. I think the Marlins could contend maybe next year. I don't think they would be having, I don't want to say contend, actually. I want to say maybe have a winning record. They're going to start getting better next year. Don't expect a huge jump because they are moving slowly but sturdy. I think the Marlins could definitely be in a position next year where they can maybe go out there and go at least a 500 record. So, yes, I do think the Marlins could potentially be a 500 team. So hopefully we could see that from them. And then the other question again was from Apollo's Wave here, as he asked me. Oh, we gotta look forward here. Here we go. Can you see any potential signings right now for the Marlins in free agency? So right now, no. Just getting in Garvis Solarte. He was playing first base last game for us. That could potentially be a guy we can potentially go out and get. But no, at this point in time, I do not see that happening. I think that right now we are good with our roster as it is right now, and I do not see any more moves being made here for them. So no, I do not see any more moves being made for the Marlins here. Okay, all right. Okay, and we shall wait for more questions to come here on the podcast. Make sure you guys head over to my Instagram again, at Marlins_news here, as we will be trying to get some questions in for the podcast now. Okay. As we approach our final 10 minutes here, it's going to be a 30-minute episode today. I know you guys want to talk more about the Marlins here, but, they've been 2-8 in their last 10. It's really been struggling, but let's look at some of the prospects here who has been doing pretty well for the Fish as of late. Sixto Sanchez coming in here, throwing an absolute gem last start, going 6 innings pitched, letting up 0 earned runs, ERA down to 3.08 in Jacksonville, 2-2 record, 7 games started, only letting up 2 home runs. And he doesn't let up too many home runs. Only walked a couple batters, 35 Ks in his 38 innings. So let's get that up from Sixto. But his velocity is really showing, and his velocity is legit. So really happy to see that from Sixto, being our number one prospect that we did acquire in the JT Realmuto trade. So let's see more from him. I do believe that there is something there that we could potentially grab, and I think that he could potentially be a good player for us. And he is going to be our ace, in my opinion. His control is really good for the velocity he has. Normally you do not see that. Normally you see a lot of people that are wild with that kind of velocity, but no, I think when you look at it, he actually is doing very well with his control, and that is actually a really good sign that we have been seeing there from of course, Sixto Sanchez. And the second player today is going to be Victor Mesa. I am a little disappointed on what he's been doing and down in single A. Remember, this is single A. He's got a 220 average there, and he's only hitting singles. He has three triples and 1 double, so that's 4. So as right now, he has 42 singles, 3 triples, and 1 double. A little strange there. All he does is hit singles. I don't know if they're infield singles, but I just know that they're singles. He is striking out 29. He struck out 29 times in 209 at bats. So he's not striking out too much. That's good. We know that's good. So yeah, just keep that up. I hate when players strike out, and I know a lot of players do, but Victor Mesa is not the type of player to be striking out. Monte Harrison back from injury, currently batting 287. I also noticed this with the outfield in AAA that they always move around. So they had Brinson in left field yesterday, and they always moving people around there. So it's relatively interesting that they're doing that. Can't say I agree with that. I kind of wanted Brinson to just play center field there strictly, but they are moving him around there. So it's a little strange to see that from him, but yeah, in my opinions about Harrison is that he will stick as a right fielder. He has the body for it. He has a really, really nice arm. I say he sticks as a right fielder. I think that's the best spot for him there, and I just think the fit there would be fantastic. Nick Neidert as well. His ERA is really high, 8.71 in only 3 games. He has been hurt, so hopefully he can come back strong. He can be better than that. Connor Scott, who, I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't the biggest fan of coming out of the draft, but I of course, any player we do get, I will support him, put my back on. But batting .213 in Clinton for the Lumber Kings, he is struggling there. He has been hitting better. His pop is getting better. He's hitting some home runs, 4 homers in the year. So I'm hoping for a big thing from Connor Scott, because the Marlins really had a lot of praise for him coming with the 13th overall pick in the 2018 draft. Out of the Marlins topic a little bit, there was a player who was recently demoted to AAA and is currently going to be traded. Some people said, hey, could there be interest here? The player is Clint Frazier of the New York Yankees. being sent to AAA. They're not a smart move, in my opinion, from the management in New York, but I do understand with them with Encarnacion. So they, in my opinion, they have to trade him by tonight. You do not have him play another AAA game. He's hitting great in the major leagues. You do not have him go down to AAA and ruin that, because then he's going to get used to the minor league pitching, and you do not want that to happen. The dude is hitting great. You trade him by tonight. You do not have him play a AAA game. And could the Marlins be interested? I don't really see the fit there. I do like Clint Frazier. I think he's a good player. I really think he's going to be a good player in this league. He's going to stay in this league as maybe a corner outfielder. Does got to get that defense up. But I do not see the fit in Miami. But if we did get him, I would like that. I don't think we need another outfielder. I'm very strict on that because we do have Harold Ramirez in left field. And then we can move around a lot of players in right, like Cooper and Anderson there. And then, of course, center field will hopefully, again, be occupied by Brinson if he gets back up. And hopefully he can turn out to the player we all want him to, because I know a lot of people are losing faith in him, unfortunately. But he needs to show us that he could stay in this league and not be a bust. So hopefully we could see major change from Lewis Brinson. Heading to the last 5 minutes of the podcast. Also, guys, make sure to head to baseballpodcastnetwork.com and make sure to get yourself your Lewis Brinson t-shirt. I know I was talking about him. We are going to be making some new designs here for the Baseball Podcast Network merch. I know that logo needs to change and all that because it's, the old stuff there, but we will be getting more merchandise for you guys here. And very, very soon. So we will be getting that for you. And also, guys, make sure to go to StubYard, promo code BPN10. Save 10% off any order at StubYard.com. So that is also another way to get things going there. Yeah. So into the last 5 minutes, we do have another question here from Omar. And he asked me on the podcast here, is Curtis Granderson our veteran guy in the locker room, or is he just there to hit? Curtis Granderson, I feel like, is more of a presence because his batting average is hard right now. He's got a 178 average. He only has 32 hits in the season with 180 at-bats. That's pretty bad. Granderson is not hitting that well. He does have 7 home runs. He has 0 stolen bases, but yeah, Curtis Granderson is not really hitting the ball well for us as of late. Maybe the age is getting to him, but he is really not hitting well for us. I feel like he's more of a clubhouse presence for us, so hopefully he can turn out to be that for us. And I do think there needs to be more of a bat there from him. He does lead off. We do expect him to get on base. He does get on base sometimes, but I feel like we need to see more of that from him, more consistency. His on-base percentage is just 268, but in the past it was 338, so yeah, and his OPS is 618. So, yeah, let's just try to get that higher there. I know he used to do a good job with drawing walks, but look, in his last 7 games, he has 1 hit and 22 at-bats. So he is not hitting the ball well. He's got a .45 in his last 20 games. So that really is struggling there. But, Granderson, I was very, very excited for when we did pick him up, but unfortunately, it's not turning out to the player I thought he was. Okay, guys, so that is going to do it for the Marlins Catch podcast here. You guys heard it right here. Isan Diaz, I think, will be the franchise second baseman for us if he can continue doing what he's doing in AAA. You guys know the drill. I am going to end the podcast here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it, guys. And make sure to tune in next week on Monday for the Marlins Catch. I'm not sure if I'll be doing another early episode again. Let me know, DM me if you guys really like doing these early ones there, because I will definitely start doing them more if you guys liked them, because remember, I just thought it'd be maybe a change up. So, without further ado, that's going to do it on the Marlins Catch podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.